Okay, good evening YouTube and welcome to the latest live stream from the FPL family. My name is Lee, this is Sam, and we're on episode 46 of the FPL family, coming live from a very snowy and a very frozen still Hertfordshire in the UK. It is freezing still, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it is so cold. Take me back to the sun of Dubai.
Where were we like a week and a bit ago?
Well, stuck on a plane in Kuwait, but yeah.
That's true. Exactly this time last week we were stuck on a plane, but a week and a half ago, 33, 34 degree heat. Oh, and it's just been so cold since we've come back.
Take me back.
So cold. But listen, we've come back to what is frankly an absolutely bonkers game week.
Seriously, what happened?
Absolutely bonkers game week.
What has happened?
We're all sitting here thinking, and I certainly sat here on the last vlog saying, how do I scrape together a team, right? How do I get somehow to like the 30, 40 points mark? And, you know, we're all taking hits for like Munio and things like that. It was the way that the psyche and the mentality of the FPL community work for Gameweek 31 is something that is going to live in FPL legend. This game week is of FPL legend, not only because of the way that the community acted and the way that everyone was taking hits for crazy players and stuff, because a lot of wildcarding, which we're going to come to later on, but record-breaking Mo Salah. I mean, what else is there to say about this guy? You can see from the grin on my face, being a Liverpool supporter, you guys that are tuning in, most of you guys will know that, but oh my God, the guy is so good. The goals he scored are ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's just one of those game weeks, wasn't it, where for a start, the fact that it was over within like 5 hours, that's unusual.
It's just quick, wasn't it?
Because it was like 3 o'clock, 5:30, done.
Yeah.
So that made it strange for itself. Then to be only 4 games, so to have very few players to choose from. So you're really reliant on those big hitters. And we've talked for weeks now about the importance of those big hitters. So for him to come out on that game week in particular and do what he did, unbelievable.
It's insane. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting to see what the community's reaction is on Twitter, because a lot of people are saying, you know, stormed it 90 points. But the reality is, if you've got Salah captain, you've probably got 58 at Salah. So the reality is you've had a pretty good game week.
But you feel like you've stormed it with 90.
But you feel like you've stormed it with like 90 odd. The reality is the people that are going to be making big green arrows this week are up in the hundreds, 110s.
But I also think that people feel that they've stormed it at 80s, 90s, and they have in many ways, but they feel it even more because of the game week that it was.
Yeah,
so the fact that you go into it thinking, everybody went into it thinking there's a good chance that, you know, I could get 20 points here and that could be it. I certainly went in thinking, do you know what, if I can get to 30, I've had a good game week.
Yeah, but a few of the punts come off as well, right? So a few of us were...
Rondon
getting an assist is outrageous, by the way. It's outrageous. And that's another few points towards the Team London versus Team Neom. Because Neom actually played, so the boys who got the assist will be looking at that and going, and they'll be cursing because Neom did actually play. I don't know if you saw the highlights, but Neom whipped in an awesome cross for Rondon. And I was just like, that would have been like FPL community heaven right there between us and the Who Got the Assist boys. I do also want to give a really quick shout out to Tom from Who Got the Assist. Poor guy, honestly. So I sat with Tom and Nick, and we had an awesome
I missed
evening.
You that night.
Oh, do you know, it was so good, and we got all the snacks in. We were eating all the little pies from M&S. It was wicked, and the boys got the beers in.
That.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, we didn't have time for dinner, did we? So it's just like, what do you want to snack on from Pret? You know, it was that sort of thing. And where Tom works, they've got a free beer pump. So that was like, that's a winner.
What?
And then the boys brought in a few cans of like Camden Pale Ale, so we had a cracking time. In actual fact, the pod got better as we were drinking.
Do you know what? I actually think that they did this deliberately. They deleted it on purpose, just so they can have me back next time.
Trust me, they did not do it on purpose. Tom was so upset, and to be honest, and I wish you guys could have heard it because it was really good fun actually. I am going to go back on. I said to Tom and to Nick that I'm more than happy to come back on another week. Tom genuinely doesn't know what happened. I think the software completely let him down. There's a bug in the software. It recorded silence rather than our voices, which in my case is probably for the greater good. But the pod was wicked. So it's a real shame we didn't get to hear that, guys. But I know that the boys from Who Got the Assist, I think, are recording. They've either recorded today or they're recording tonight. Might even be in the bag. I think I saw a tweet saying they've recorded it. So make sure you get over to at WGTA_FPL. And but listen to the boys from Who Got the Assist, because their pods are ace.
This is for their Game Week 32, or a reflection of 31.
I think they're reflecting on 31, I don't know. Okay. But have a listen to that anyway, because whatever they'll be reflecting on or previewing, whatever, it's always good stuff. And I will be on, I think, in a few weeks when there's potentially a double game week. So potentially I've done myself a favour there, where there's more to talk about.
So you did one. They originally wanted you to just go and talk about 4 games, and now suddenly they've got to have you go and talk about.
They were like, how do we limit the damage that Lee can do here? Yeah, get him on for a blank game week. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And now they're stuck with me for a double game week. So watch out. So thank you guys for tuning in to FPL Family. It's episode 46. I said before. Let's say hello to a few of you. In the chat, because I want to hear about these scores. There's some epic scores this game week. From a game week where we thought we were going to get nothing.
Is Jeff in?
Some epic scores. Jeff is 100% here.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff is absolutely here. And why is Jeff here? Because
Jeff
triple captain Salah. That is unbelievable. And do you know what? He told me that in a tweet, I think, before kickoff, and I was just like...
You turned around to me and went, do you know that Jeff's triple captain Salah? And I was like... What?
This is what it's come to on these streams, by the way. We talk about you guys now on a Saturday morning. It's ridiculous. So I said to you, Jeff's triple captain Salah. We were like, that's interesting.
I don't think he's told me that. Oh no, he did tell me that. I just missed it.
But Jeff, triple captain Salah, I think he ended on something like 126, 127
points. Techers, Jeff.
Unbelievable stuff. Really, really good. So we're going to come and we're going to review the FPL Family Regulars League a bit later on, because there's some awesome scores. I think Jamal's done well, again, as expected.
Of course he has, of course.
You've done very well, again, as expected.
Well, no, I've been poor the last few weeks, so it makes a nice change.
Well, to be fair, actually,
gone up 40,000 in the world.
Have you really? Blimey, I didn't think you were even that far down.
I've gone...
Had you really?
Terrible few game weeks. Last week I had 23.
Cool. I do remember the game week of 23. That was bad. And actually, the last few game weeks, I've actually, I was creeping up on you a bit, and I thought I've got about 20, 30 points back on you in the last 4 weeks, and that's just gone in the blink of an eye.
Last week I was down at over 100,000 in the world.
Were you really?
I'm back up, 111,000 or something, and now I'm back up at 70,000. So I'm back on the up again.
Okay, very good. So let's say hello to a few people. Jeff is absolutely in. Of course he is. He's absolutely in. Jamal is here. Thank you for joining, Jamal. Luke Walkinshaw is here. Coos FPL, thanks for joining. Spencer's here. Spencer's saying Jeff is the man. A lot of love for Jeff. Well, a lot of love for Jeff.
Rightly so.
Sai is saying, so Sai Greggs, thanks for joining. Sai, thought I did well until I saw your scores. Well, Sai, listen, we're going to review the FPL Family Regulars League in a minute. We'll see how you did, buddy. Let's talk FPL is here. Andy's here. Thank you for joining, Andy. He's given a round of applause for triple captain Salah, which is absolutely the right thing to do. Mike is here. Micah McClatchy, thanks for joining. James Brady's here. Who else have we got? Jerome Hughes. That's a name I don't recognise before, so thanks for joining, Jerome. Let's have a look. Josh is here. Josh Waldridge. He's got to be happy. Josh, you the Saints fan? I think you are. So you've got to be happy with that from the Saints today. And can Sparky turn it round for you? Leo's here.
Especially against Chelsea in the next round.
Yes, tough draw. But from what I saw of that Leicester and Chelsea game, they could...
No, but I mean, it's Mark Keane, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, the old Sparky connection. Very good, very good. Nemanja Tadic is here. Thank you for joining, Nemanja. Who else we got? Dom J, thanks for joining, John. Mark Johnson is here. Vinyl Richie, as usual, is here. Thanks for joining, Vinyl Richard. Carl Sagstad is here. He also got a very, very good score. 112 minus score. Tweeted me just before we come on. Very, very good score, Carl. We want to look at that a bit later. Anwan is here. Haven't seen his score, but I'm sure we will see him a bit later on in the FPL Family Regulars League. We've got to say hello also to Mr. Pathetico Morbid, Andy Kirk. PM, that is a serious score. So I tweeted, I don't know why I was picking up my phone there, it's just a habit. What I'm going to do is find the stream or find the thread where I put, here we go. If you're in the 100 Club and you're joining the stream later, post a team here. So this is your team, which we'll come to in a minute. Very, very good score. Ibe with 10 is absolutely outrageous. I could not believe it when Daniels assisted Ibe. We're gonna just ruin my weekend, that did. But Mr. Andy Kirk, Pathetico Morbid, 129 points. That's pretty serious. We've got to have a look at that. That is what you call a decent score. Tosun, Mane, obviously.
Tosun was the one to have a punt on this game week. He really was. I did the wrong punt up front because I did Meunier, but I should have done Tosun.
Tompkins 13, or is that 15 for Tompkins? 15 for Tompkins.
Yeah, because he got laps as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I watched Match Today. He actually easily could have had 2 goals. Tompkins. He had one cleared off the line. That would have been like 20 something points. Ridiculous. Robertson, who again played very, very well for Liverpool.
Assisted.
A very good assist actually for Salah's second goal, which again we'll review in a sec. Miljokovic, which is pretty much my only outside of Salah score that came in this game, but very happy to see Millie pop up with another penalty. But as I say, Tosun, I mean, that PM is a fantastic score, mate. That is really, really good.
You've just reminded me of your reaction when I've scored a goal. It's made me chuckle.
I like the GIF, by the way, as well. This is Andy's GIF that he's put on.
That was me when I've scored.
You literally were prancing around the living room like that when Jordan Ibe scored.
Particularly as like not 2 minutes before you were like the only person saving my game week is Foster.
Oh my god, guys. Oh my god, seriously. I was just like, right, so Miljovic has scored, and then I said to you, the only differential I've got above anybody else is Foster. Foster's doing great. Literally, no, you said that. And then literally, the moment you said it, he conceded. Literally, the moment you said it. It's unbelievable.
And I said, it's all right, because at least it's compensated with who he's conceded. I've lost the points, but gained them back in Ibe. What I didn't know at the time because it was a Daniels assist. He was so upset.
And it was like a worldie as well from Ibe. He's not done anything for weeks. He's barely got a start.
To get rid of him because he's not going to start. I kept him.
I literally couldn't believe it. When he scored, I was just like, that is jammy. But then I watched it on Match of Day. It's a Daniels assist, and it's like a worldie that the keeper should have saved. Foster should have saved. Was it Foster? Yeah. Oh man, that upset me so much. Upset me so much. Unbelievable. Right, so let's crack on. Let's say we've got to scroll this chat back down. Let's do that first and foremost before we do anything else. Cool. So why don't we're going to look at the 4 games that happened this game week. We might do a little bit of maybe just 30 seconds on your FA Cup reaction as well, because Eriksen decided to get 2 goals and he's sitting in my team, which was really nice of him to not save those goals for the Premier League and score them in the FA Cup. But
all right, Mr. Bitter.
I'm a little bit bitter about that. I've got a lot to be bitter about this week, guys, as usual on the FPL family. So we're going to review those 4 games, but we're going to do that quite quickly because what I want to get to is game week 32 strategy. So we both have got 2 very different strategies for game week 32. I'm sitting here with a mediocre amount of dross in my team. So I got in some dross for 31, but as you guys know, I didn't pile it full of dross as a lot of the wildcard holders did, because I can't, because then I'd have to spend a load of hits this week. So I've got some dross to get rid of, and I've got some targets that I want to get in for 32, and I've got to be quite selective about those targets. I've got to really pick those carefully. You, on the other hand, filled it full of, what I considered to be dross, but actually it was very, very good. It was very, very good, actually. So you filled it through with, let's just call them...
Game week 31 players.
Game week 31 players, yeah. Not
for 1 week only.
Full of Jordan Ibes. Oh, man.
Excuse me, Jordan Ibe's actually been in my team for quite a long time.
He has, actually. You've had to sit through a lot of dross to get to that 10 points, haven't you? So your strategy is absolutely now bin all of that stuff off to a degree, and let's look at 32 with fresh eyes, with your wild card, and presumably you've hit the button, I guess.
Yeah, so I did it. Okay. Did it last night. We can talk about it a bit more later. I did 3 transfers last night. It's begun.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you in a minute whether you've done any transfers, but I think you have.
I just told you I did 3 last night. Are you listening?
No, again, as usual, I was reading the chat and not listening. I'm the guy, I can't multitask. But I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Have you wildcarded? So tell us if you've wildcarded. If you have, who have you brought in as a priority? I say a priority. I saw some people even getting Christensen in earlier today on a wildcard, but of course he then got, I think, a bit of a groin injury in the Chelsea game earlier, so you might want to wildcard him out now that you've wildcarded him in.
Don't get Christensen, because you know what happens when you have Christensen in your team, don't you, Lee?
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that was again another tale of woe from my FPL season this year. Another tale of woe. But come on then, let's talk me through. So you've hit the wildcard button.
Oh, hang on. What do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about game week 31 or talk about my wildcard?
Yeah, as usual, you're doing absolutely right thing and keeping me to the agenda. Let's do the 4 games. Yeah. Let's get those games done and out of the way. We can review them.
Well, I think we have...
And then we've got to talk about wildcards.
Okay, I think we have to start with Liverpool.
Okay, just before I say that, because I asked the question, Leo is playing his wildcard. Greg says, I'm like you, Lee, no wildcard. So, okay.
So I'd be interested, actually, once we've talked about the wildcards, to find out what you guys that don't have wildcards are doing. So Felix, are you taking some hits or not? Yeah. Because obviously we are building up now to the double game week.
Absolutely.
And so you're going to be wanting as many players as possible. Plus we're going to have another blank game week in 35.
Yes, and actually the Chelsea result today means that there's now 3 fixtures not happening in game week 35. So I need to promote at this stage an FPL account.
Spurs and Brighton.
Yeah, but 2 seconds. I've got to just promote this account because Ben Crellin. If you guys are on Twitter, follow @Ben Crellin on Twitter. He's an absolute must follow. So let me show you the sort of things he does, and you will love this, by the way, and blow your mind.
Is it tables?
He loves a spreadsheet and a table. He's absolutely all over.
It's my ideal man. He's
right on it. So It's stuff like this. It's stuff
what
like
is
this.
that?
I mean, this is just epic.
That's like all my dreams come at once.
So I'm not going to sit here and explain what that means, guys. Just go on and answer at Ben Krellin. You can see his handle up here. You can see he's got a hell of a following, 14,500 followers on Twitter, for very good reason. Right?
Do you know what? I might join Twitter just to look at those tables.
It's sensational because he's now talking about what he does is a table at the beginning of Gameweek 31 while all the FA Cup games are going on. He's like, well, if Chelsea win, the chance of that game being off is this, and therefore Gameweek 35 looks like this. It is really, really, really top stuff.
So is that Gameweek 35 now?
So Gameweek 35 now. Let's not delve into Ben's spreadsheet because that's an hour on its own. But Gameweek 35
games
now,
off, which is Brighton, Spurs and Brighton.
Yeah, there's 3 games off, and there's a lot of teams now. A lot of teams that are going to be doubling in 34, and then potentially not playing in 35, and then potentially doubling again down the line. So 35 now is proper free hit territory.
Absolutely.
So if you're holding your free hit chip, that is the game week now to play it.
Of course, that's why we kept it,
Absolutely
wasn't it?
That's
why we played 31 in the way that we played 31, in order that 35, the free hit could come in. It meant triple captain and bench boost for those 2 double game weeks. Ideal.
Absolutely.
Literally loving life.
Absolutely. So let's very quickly go through these games. What do we need to say about Liverpool versus Watford? Do we need to say anything other than if you haven't got Salah now, stop playing FPL?
Also, I looked because I was absolutely astounded to see that the game week average for this week was under Salah's captain score. Because I thought...
That shows you how many dead teams are in it though, right?
Well, it does. So when I looked, partly it does. So Salah is in 61% of teams now, which is massive.
61?
Yeah, that is huge.
It is,
for a fantasy asset. That is massive. You don't often see the numbers that high.
I wonder what... So I think his number is way higher than that for the top 1k
teams.
and the top 10k.
And
it's got to be in the 80s and 90s.
I should have thought so. And for active teams as well, I would imagine it would be higher. But I also think that there were a large number of people, and there were quite a few people I spoke to on Instagram over the last couple of days saying the same thing, that actually if you're chasing the game, there were a lot of people that just didn't captain him in the hope of... Because everybody was captaining Salah.
Do you know what? The thought crossed my mind, because as you guys know, I'm chasing, have been for some time. And I was looking at your team and thinking, well, I ain't beating you this week, because you'd got it full of those Game Week 31 players, and I hadn't. So I'm thinking, right, so how do I try and beat you this week? Do I go Firmino captain? I'm really glad I did not.
And a lot of people did. I think there are a lot of people in your boat who did think... There's only 2 ways that I can do some catching up this week. It's either to do what Jeff did and stick your triple captain on Salah.
Yes.
But that's a massive risk, given that there's 2 double game weeks coming up where you could put triple captains on other players.
It wasn't absolutely 100% paid off, but was a risk. Yeah,
it was a risk, and it did pay off, absolutely. Or you put your captain's ban on somebody else. And the obvious second choice was Firmino, who actually had for that game week, I thought quite a high captaincy armband rating.
But did alright on any other game week. He got 11 points, something like that.
But
9,
so
10,
many
11,
people
so
obviously really annoyed because they had Salah but they hadn't captained him, and that kept the game week average a bit lower.
Yeah, totally.
So
let's talk about the game then. So Salah, obviously, let's not even.
I don't think we need to talk about Salah. Really.
93 BPS. I mean, that is absolutely insane. I'd like to talk about Robertson at number 2. So he got 40 BPS. Fantastic assist for Mane's second goal. Played sensationally well. The way that he celebrated the goal as well, when Salah scored that second goal, he was giving it the fist bumps and everything. He genuinely cares, this guy.
He loves the team,
he's really a solid and almost one of the first names on the team sheet now, I would say. Even though Klopp, as we've seen before, loves Moreno, I cannot see Moreno getting back in that team now. No way. Robertson playing far too good.
I guess from a fantasy point of view, the thing to talk about with Liverpool is, I would say all of us probably, or all of you listening, and you and I both included, have 3 Liverpool players in our team. Now, do you stick with those 3 Liverpool, given that they're not going to have double game weeks?
Good question. Yeah,
because this is where I am now, and I'm looking at my 3 Liverpool players, and I'm thinking, right, okay, I've got Salah and Firmino, who, quite frankly, at the moment can't go anywhere. They have to stay.
Do you think Firmino? Salah, definitely not.
For now, Firmino, with Kane's injury, Firmino for me stays now.
Vardy's got a double game week coming up, I think.
Vardy's got a double game week coming up.
Looking at.
We'll find out what I'm doing about Aubameyang when we get there. But so for me, Firmino stays. But I've got I nearly said Van der Vaart again every time. Van Dijk.
Can't get the Dutchman.
I can't get him right. I can't get it right. Yeah. It's because there's too many V's and D's. There's VVD and VDV. I can't get it right. So Virgil. What I can't decide with him is actually looking at your fixtures to the end of the season, it looks like an obvious choice to just stick. But then I'm sitting there thinking, that's 3 players not playing on double game week. Given that I'm going to be...
But we've literally just seen how Salah, in particular, can just decimate a double game week or a blank game or whatever. He can get ridiculous points
Absolutely.
anywhere. Right?
But so he's not even a question. He's going to stay regardless.
Okay.
And for me, so is Firmino. But I think it's the defensive Liverpool players that you start to question. If I had Salah and Mane and Firmino, I'd probably just keep all 3. But with a defensive one, part of me is thinking, well, actually, do I swap him out for somebody who's not got as good games but has going to play 2 doubles?
Okay. So Carl Sagstad is saying keep max 2 Liverpool players. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the way I'm thinking at the moment.
It's interesting. Robert Moore is saying Moreno may come back in. Schedule gets ridiculous. It does, Robert. But for me, I'm not convinced. Robertson is playing so well right now, and where Liverpool are in the league, obviously the Man City games in the Champions League are the 2 big games left of the season. I can't see that Moreno comes back in. I just can't. I just don't see it.
Are you going to keep all 3 of your Liverpools?
I think I am, simply because, again, no wild card. So I've got to pick my battles quite carefully in my team. And, I've got a few fires I need to put out ready for game week 32. One of those fires is not my Liverpool defender. If anything, that's a little burning ember that if I had unlimited water, I'd get rid of. Right?
You've got nice fixtures, haven't you? So.
And the Liverpool fixtures are good. So for me,
I think it's a tough one for me, that one.
I think for me, if anything, it's Firmino that's at risk, which sounds ridiculous because he is a very, very good FPL asset. But Salah is going absolutely nowhere. Virgil, potentially, but Firmino, I think there's some really, really nice options in that forward line that do have double game weeks and do have the fixtures going forward. Not that Firmino doesn't, but the Aubameyangs, the Vardys, the people like that. So we're going to come to those in a bit. Sean Tan, thank you for joining, Sean. He's saying too risky to keep all 3 Liverpool players. 1, no game week. I think he means no double game week. 2, cheaper alternatives like Vardy. And 3, Liverpool has a Champions League, so Klopp may rotate. So yeah, absolutely, all very, very good points.
But it just seems ridiculous to even contemplate taking out a Liverpool player when you look at the fixtures.
Yeah,
and I think it's the right thing.
And Lord Vader as well. Thank you for joining, Lord Vader. I think he's a first-time joiner actually, so thanks for joining.
Yeah, I think I would remember it.
You'd remember that name, wouldn't you?
Love Star Wars.
Klopp will still be looking to get a respectable finish in the Premier League, more than respectable. Klopp,
he's still fighting. He's still fighting for the top 4.
Liverpool got to be looking for second place, haven't they? Got to be.
Well, and just generally top 4 positions at the moment. There's 5 of us in that bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely, it's hotting up in the race for 4th for sure.
It certainly is.
Any other Liverpool assets, or are we done on Liverpool? Is that everything we need to talk about?
I think we could talk about Liverpool United and how good they've been in terms of fantasy points at the moment, but yeah.
Yet we are considering downgrading.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Or moving one of them on. It's crazy. All right. Less said about Watford, the better, I think, in that game.
Bless them.
But do the fixtures for Watford get any better?
Yeah, they're not looking too bad.
They do. Absolutely, they do. Yeah, Bournemouth at home, Burnley at home, Huddersfield away, Palace at home in the next 4. So that actually looks pretty good if you're a Watford asset. I mean,
but do you want one? Can you trust them?
Well,
because they have great games. Like they've had a few good game weeks recently, and then this happens, and you think, wow. I mean, I know Anfield is a difficult place to go, but really to get beaten by 5.
Well, let's have a look at the Watford form as well while we're here. It was a bit embarrassing, but we did play well. It was a bit of a Salah masterclass. Do you know what I mean?
It was. I know that, but they have had some good performances recently. They've had some good results.
Well, yeah. So they sneaked past Everton 1-0 here, and 1-0 against West Brom, which is not a great result given that West Brom are getting spanked. Lost to, I think it was the Arsenal game 3-0, and then obviously us 5-0. So it is a bit mixed for Watford right now, but they've got the fixtures to bounce back from them too.
They have. But for me, there are other teams. Again, it goes back to that thing about being on a wild card, doesn't it? And so I'm looking for a bit more long term in terms of those 2 double game weeks and making sure that I've got as many players as I can, or that I'm positioning myself with enough money in bank that I can get the players that I want for those doubles.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's move on to the next game. So Stoke are probably going to go up these fixtures actually. So Stoke versus Everton is do you know what? I thought it was a weird one actually because I think
exactly the opposite of what I expected.
Well, we're all looking at Everton's away form and thinking, well, that's a tricky fixture to go to Stoke. And then I saw the weather on the day, and I just thought there's potential for it was a proper whiteout, wasn't it?
It was madness.
It was madness. The snow was all over the place, and I just thought there's potential for somebody to fling an arm or somebody to put a late challenge in. And so it proved. And actually, if you were gonna guess somebody to get sent off, Charlie Adam would have been more or less in your top 3, I think. Bad tackle, I think, on Rooney. Not good. Did deserve a red, in my opinion. So, Stoke 1, Everton 2. Unexpected. But listen, Everton, that back four is a shadow of the back four a few weeks ago when they couldn't get a result. You look at the back four as is at the weekend. It was Baines and Coleman. No Williams, which has made a massive change. Williams was a liability for them a few weeks ago. Now they've got Jagielka. I can't remember who the other centre-half is. But that back four now is looking far better. Far better than it was a few weeks ago. So Everton starting to hit potentially a bit of form. However, fixtures do get difficult.
Fixtures are not very good. And again, they're gonna play one game in the first double game week. For sure. So
Jamal's just reminded me of something. Go on. I've got polls, and I've forgotten about the polls again. Go on, finish what you're going to say. We'll go back. Every week the polls are just a nightmare, aren't they?
I mean, last week we had old polls.
Last week, yeah, on Gameweek 31, who's your Gameweek 29 captain? I think was the poll. Oh God.
I just when somebody mentioned that, I just thought I'm just going to blame you because
thanks Jamal for saying that. By the way, someone had to say it. Well done.
What else have I been talking about? Oh, Everton. Yeah, the fixtures aren't looking great. I don't know. I mean, I looked at that Everton game and I got a Shaqiri in as one of my transfers last week on the basis that I was worried that so many people had Shaqiri. I kind of felt that I should cover it. And not because I really wanted him. And I looked at Tosun when I was doing my changes up top. I was like, well, I'm going to make 2 changes up top. I could do Meunier. I could do.
It was Tosun, Meunier, or one other, wasn't it?
Well, it pretty much came down to a straight choice between Meunier and Tosun, and I looked at the fixtures and thought, I do not fancy Tosun to go away to Stoke. And I looked at
2 in 2.
And I looked at the Huddersfield fixtures, and they were away. They were at home to Crystal Palace, and I thought I can see Meunier getting something there. How wrong could I have got?
Palace look different, by the way. I mean, we'll come to the Palace game in a minute, but they're getting players back from injury. Look very different.
I just got it completely wrong. But it's also thrown a bit of a spanner in my works because part of my wildcard thinking was Huddersfield players. They're cheap, nice fixtures, looking a bit okay at the moment. Let's get a couple of cheapies. That means I can fill up on really decent players for the doubles. Now I'm looking at Huddersfield thinking,
don't touch with a barge pole potentially.
Anymore.
Yeah, and actually it was weird, wasn't it? The Huddersfield game, because Rajiv Van La Parra as an asset that we were kind of promoting on this. A lot of us were talking about promoting on this vlog as well as on Twitter. Benched him, right? And then Bauer, who a lot of us had I had him in my Gameweek 31 team. Lambert benched him. I'm like, oh my God, can't even catch a break in this Gameweek 31. This game week, which was supposed to be, bereft of points. You want somebody like a Bauer to play. You need someone like a Bauer to play, and he bloody dropped him. So, right, what are we going to do? We were definitely going to do, Jamal, What a Legend, polls, right, and actually decent polls. For a change, they're decent polls.
More than one poll?
More than one poll, guys, more than one poll. So check out the polls, top right-hand corner.
You get carried away these days. It started off with just one poll. Now we've got millions of polls.
How do I point to the top right-hand corner? Up here, I think. No, that's up there. Up there.
Good grief.
So slick, isn't it, this vlog? So slick. So one of the questions.
Other FPL YouTube channels are available if you want something more professional than us. So you can't work out our right from our left.
Right. So the 2 polls are: who is the best FPL player ever? And I thought that was I think that's worth chucking that in, isn't it? Because I think that's on the well, yeah, because I think we're witnessing FPL history this year with Salah, right? He is a freak of FPL, this guy, honestly. So I've got in the poll, and I'm not going to open the window because it's going to it'll go, throw it all off. But the players I've got in there, if I remember from memory, Bale, Ronaldo, Suarez, Salah, or Henry, and there might be one other in there. So guys,
Aguero from a few seasons ago was a must.
I don't think I even put Aguero in there.
For goodness sake! You had him. Everyone had him, and we captained him every week.
Yeah, probably Aguero should be in there. So who's the best FPL player ever outside of Aguero?
Well, I'm going to vote for Aguero.
and if your favourite isn't in there, put it in the live chat. See, that was my backup plan, but you've ruined that now, thanks.
Well, my favourite's not in there.
And then the next question was, because I just wanted to get a feel for how you guys are thinking, are you playing your wildcard in Gameweek 32? If you are, then at the end of the stream, we'll look at how many of you are playing that wildcard. So that's my 2 poll questions. Spencer's now doing... Every week, Spencer comes up with, you should see the abuse I get on Twitter after these vlogs. It's 100% deserved. But the photoshopping that goes on is absolutely outrageous.
Well, what are they doing to you now? I like the Madonna ones. So, we can have more of them. They were hilarious.
Spencer was the guy responsible for the Madonna. Not Maradona.
That was brilliant.
And then earlier in the week, I started talking about what the weather was looking like for the weekend. And I'll show you it after. And the boys from Who Got the Assist photoshopped my head on Michael Fish.
Oh, I need to see that. Why don't you tell me about these things during the week? Somebody come on Instagram and tell me when these things are going on, so I can ask you.
Twitter. I keep telling you to get on Twitter.
You're not supposed to be our Twitter representative.
Well, I am. I do my best, and I do my best. So Spencer's now doing, like, you can see he's put the little dancing emoji, which clearly is me doing this.
You're going to be night fevering, aren't you?
Absolutely ridiculous. Thanks for that, Spencer. Appreciate it. Right, so that's the polls, guys. Get on the polls because, I love a poll, and
honestly,
got to do it for some reason, haven't we? We've lost our train of thought, as usual.
Well, we were going through the games.
Agenda. Stoke Everton, is there much more we need to talk about that other than Walcott getting an assist? Finally, Walcott getting an assist. A lot of people bringing him in this game week.
To be fair, everybody, all the bigger hitters that you would hope that would do something in 31 kind of did, didn't they?
Walcott, well, did he deliver us an assist? I mean,
he got something which in 31, let's be honest, is better than nothing.
And by the way, an amazing cameo by Choupo-Moting, wasn't it? Come off the bench, scored a goal, pulled his groin in doing something, and went off. 7 minutes, 1 goal, beautiful. Let's talk about Huddersfield versus Palace then. As I was saying before, very happy to see the Miljovic goal. Palace looked a different side, and I think Hodgson is just starting to get some of his key players back for the running. Very, very important that he gets these players back.
I've told you time and time again, Zaha is so important for Crystal Palace, haven't I?
You have. It's just the way you said that's quite. You're quite moody this evening, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah, it's quite authoritative. A little bit.
Am I?
Quite like it though. It's all right. Carry on.
Should I start hitting you with this pen or something?
No, don't do that.
No, Zaha is so important, and I think. Actually, when Zaha is back in that team, it makes a massive, massive difference to the way that they play, but it also makes a difference to the confidence in the team. So I wasn't surprised. Well, actually, was quite surprised to see how bad Huddersfield were, but I wasn't surprised to see Palace playing better with him in. Personally, the decision that I'm kind of contemplating at the moment is it worth upgrading Millie to Zaha, because Zaha is that much more expensive. I don't want two Palace. Zaha is that much more expensive than Millie, and obviously Millie's still on penalties, so from that point of view, that's a swinger for him. But Zaha is just so pivotal in that team. Makes a massive difference. Massive. And
I remember the guys on Match of the Day were saying, the fact that he gets the ball, can run at a few defenders and falls over for a foul, you think, oh, he's gone over again. But what that does is it takes the pressure off the defence. That Palace defence is so under pressure all the time. When Zaha picks it up, runs around a little bit, gets a free kick, the defence just have a little breather, they get their shape back, and actually Cabaye, I think, made a difference for Palace, as well as Zaha, definitely, but Cabaye made a big difference, and they've got players coming back, like Loftus-Cheek, Miljovic is pulling the strings there in the midfield. I think they've got every chance of staying up Palace because these players are coming back at the right time. If I was a Palace fan, and I know we've got quite a few of them who listen to us, I would be really confident of being a Premier League team next season. I think so. They've got too much quality to go down. They have, absolutely, and they've been. Honestly, I think Palace have been really unlucky this season. They've had a lot of their big hitters out for a long time. And Spencer's also saying Sacco back too makes a big difference. All these things make a big difference. And actually, so you look at Palace and you think there's a few assets there now. And if you're looking for differential assets, there's a lot of them there that you could pick one or two out of. Potentially. I just want to say hello to Joe Finley Batter. So Joe's just joined the stream. Thanks, Joe. I noticed he's joined just as we finished talking about the Watford game. Oh, interesting. Joe. Very strategic. He probably thought if he came in halfway through, you wouldn't notice he's come in, and then you wouldn't say anything. So welcome to the stream, Joe. Hi, Joe. Don't mean it, honestly. So the last game to talk about is Bournemouth versus West Brom. So Ivan Daniel. Oh, this game. Where do you even go with this game? That was the perfect goal for you, wasn't it? Daniels to I mean, it did cost me some goalkeeping points, but still. Yeah, but and then 3 bonus points for I. Did he get 3 bonus points? Oh my God, he's done nothing for weeks. And actually, Stanislas as well. For those of you that brought Stanislas in, his underlying stats looked very, very good. And there's a lot of people bringing him in, and actually he looked okay actually during the game. He was taking a few free kicks, a couple that went close, and then he got that one right at the end, and it was a worldie of a free kick. Worldie of a free kick. So all of you that bought in Stanislas, had to hang on there right till the 89th minute to get your reward. But by goodness me, it was worth it, wasn't it? So he's racked in the points. I'm raking in the points. But give me a word on Salah and Rondon getting you an assist, because that is proper differential territory.
Well,
you were happy as Larry with that.
Honestly, this game
absolutely
actually,
happy as Larry.
I mean, in many ways, I said on our last vlog that I was going into this game with Daniels and Ibe and Foster and Rondon. So literally, you couldn't get any worse. One defender, one striker from each side. As the game started, Charlie Daniels was dropped. I didn't think Ibe was going to play.
That was Jamie as well.
Yeah.
That was Jamie. He was dropped to the bench and then came
I didn't think Ibe was going to play. So I thought, Charlie Daniels, brilliant. You're dropped. That's brilliant. You were my banker. Ibe, you are playing. That's really strange. And then, of course, I've got Foster and Rondon, who I held no hope out for, really. Then what happens? Rondon pops up with an assist. I went a bit mad. Then Lee goes, oh, it's all right, Foster. Oh, you know, at least Foster's getting me something. Instantly, I then said, oh yeah, Foster is even getting you a save point. Instantly,
it was coming. West Brom.
Instantly, Ibe scores.
Yeah,
then we hear that Charlie Daniels, because when he came on, Lee was like, oh, Charlie Daniels has come on. I was like, oh good, at least he's going to get me 1 point. No, he's going to get me.
So not only did he come on so that he could get the 6, so he come on with enough time to play to get a clean sheet. Had they got a clean sheet. Then he didn't, so I was like, oh, that's a winner. Then he got the assist for Ibe. I could not believe it. And it's not even the assist, he just passed it to him and Ibe scored a while.
So as it happened, actually, that game worked really well for me, because Foster still got a save point, so he still got me 3. Charlie Daniels got me 5. Ibe's got me 10. And Rondon got me 5. Literally, all of them. Result.
Outrageous. That is 100% how FPL's been going for me this year. Ibe gets you 10 out of nowhere.
Honestly, we're on opposite sofas and his face was hilarious when this game was on.
And Coot FPL, quite rightly in the live stream, was saying Rondon missed a few and all. And he did. He
could have got one from... he should have had one off the back of, what's his face? His assist. Nyon.
Yeah, it's a tricky header, but yeah, potentially, yeah. All right, so let's...
Brilliant, it was brilliant.
So let's... I don't think we need to talk about West Brom. I mean, they are, I'm afraid, dead and buried. I mean, they are rock bottom.
Bless them.
Don't look good.
I think Rondon should get he's got to stay in the Premier League for next season. We need him.
Do you know what's a shame about that West Brom? If I was from a West Brom perspective, is that actually they looked reasonably solid. So Bournemouth were really toiling against them. And then Johnny Evans had to go off. And what Pardew said in the post-match was that he was cramping up, he'd been ill, so therefore his levels and his blood sugar levels and his that sort of stuff weren't quite right. So he thought it best to bring him off. Immediately then they concede. And actually, I know we're talking about it being a great strike from Ibe, and it was. But again, if you look at the analysis, Ibe just drifts into this space between Hegazi and Craig Dawson. Neither of them go to shut him down. He just unleashes it. It's a great strike. But you've got to think that if Johnny Evans was there, that wouldn't have happened. But it is what it is. That is the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid, for West Brom this season. It is looking very, very bad indeed.
And at a time where the teams around them are starting to look a bit better.
Yes, indeed. Palace are picking up. Southampton got a new manager, so that'll pick them up. Yes, I agree. They're dead and buried. They're too many points behind,
very difficult for West Brom now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. So
let's have a look at your team then.
That is the games. Let's look at the league, the Regulars League.
I've just realised you're logged in as me.
Yeah, because I wanted to look at. We're going to do the Regulars League, and then we're going to look at.
You'll be able to see all my green arrows for this week.
Yeah, we're going to look at your team, but also. I don't know. I want to look at what you're thinking about your wild card. So I'm happy to swap seats. You want to take the reins?
Oh my goodness.
On the wild card? That's what I was thinking. We could do that. So let's have a look at while you
putting me in charge of some technology.
While you ponder that, you are 13th currently in the regulars in the in-laws league, which is some going, to be fair. It's very, very good. We all know Mr. Rice is far and away at the top.
Sitting pretty.
Looking very, very good indeed on 104. Here's Jeff. I think we did feature Jeff's team, I think, didn't we? Or maybe
I don't think we showed it yet. No.
87 for Salah. 87. Oh, that score. It's making me jealous.
Is that more than your whole team?
Shut up, will you?
No, but is it?
Possibly. Possibly. Might be the same. Why have you thrown that in? Kick me when I'm down. Shocking.
I just wondered.
Shocking. Let's have a shout out for El Stato as well. Chris Payne, 107 points. Very, very good indeed. Let's have a look. Salah, yeah. Walcott, yeah. Tosun. Tompkins, 15. Very, very good indeed. Let's see if anybody can beat 107 that's not called Jeff. Pale Saint, 113. Good work.
That's a good one.
119. Oh, Josh.
Who's he got in there then? Because that's not...
Josh joins every now and again. Josh, if you're on, come to the live chat, say hello. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, Mane, Salah.
Miljovic, Mane. Oh, another Salah triple. Another Salah triple. Superb stuff. Superb stuff. Love it.
See, I just think that is so brave. I know it's Salah and I know it's Watford.
Yeah.
I just think it's so brave because there's there's 2 double game weeks coming up to use that triple, to put it in there. So brave, but so rewarding. Well done.
But there's a school of thought here that says, well, who is the on-fire player right now? It's Salah. Has he got a double game week? No. So if he's definitely not got a double game week, you're saying you want to put it on a double game week player, and Kane's injured potentially, who do you pick? Who's your?
But would you ever? Could you honestly say that you expected Salah to come up with 3 goals and an assist?
No, I can't. No,
because
4
it's
goals
that.
and an assist.
But because it's that, isn't it? It's that makes it so.
It is, but we're all sitting there saying triple captain Salah is not on a double game week. That's crazy. I'm sitting there thinking, it's triple captain Salah, he's not on a double game week. Why not? I think it's very much brave. I'm not saying it's not, but I can see why they played it, and fair play.
Oh, totally. It's just, for me, I hadn't even considered using my triple captain or my bench boost for that matter in a game that wasn't a double. Okay.
I think I saw Michelle saying earlier. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining. I think Michelle was saying before that we share our passwords. Well, that's not strange. You don't share it, but I wanted to log into your team so that we could have a look at your wildcard. So you did tell me your password. So this is now I have the power.
I'll change it after this stream.
I have the power to sabotage your team.
Don't worry, I'll change it after this stream. I mean, to be fair, he could guess it. It's fairly easy to guess.
Don't go into that. You don't want to start giving away password hints on a live stream. That's a bad shout.
Well, no, but you could guess it. No one else would guess it.
I could possibly guess it. Right, let's move swiftly on then from the league. So fair play to everyone. I think everyone this game week in the Regulars League. Look at the scores in here. You are all awesome players. Look at this. There's nothing. What's happened to Simon here? Because I know Simon tunes in. We've got to have a look at these. 59. That's not so great.
No captain on Salah.
Vice Salah. Captain Mounier. Oh no, Simon, that's a shocker. That's a shocker. I thought you'd been quiet on Twitter. That's a stinker. So Simon, sorry about that, mate. That's not looking good for you, dude. It's not looking good. Anyway, we shall move swiftly on. Let's have a look at transfers. Do you want to see it? Do you want to do this?
Well, I can, yeah.
Go on.
Sit there.
Come on, you could do it.
It's going to be very odd.
So this is your team. This is your current wildcard active team, right? So what do we need to do? I need to still look at the chat if I can. So go on then, you go in there. Let's see if I can get the chat on my phone. I can probably do that. I can probably go on. Let's swap places. You can play with this. Go on, you can play with this, and you can have a look at what you're going to do with your wildcard team, because I assume you've already done a couple of transfers, right? Because I can see an Aubameyang in there. I can see 2 Arsenal players.
There's no Spurs and there's 2 Arsenal.
No Spurs and 2 Arsenal in a Sam FPL team is disconcerting, to be honest. It's very disconcerting.
Am I sitting in the right place for this to be? Oh my gosh! I don't...
No. Switch back. Abort. No. Abort. Right. Sorry, guys. I think that might... No. Abort.
What did I do?
Oh, don't even go there. Watch it back later on. That's such a terrible idea. You were literally on it for 10 seconds and you made it go wrong. Right, why don't you tell me what you're thinking of doing?
I mean, I've got it written down. I just do it the old-fashioned way, don't I? Write it on pen. Right, so I've done 3 transfers so far, 2 of which will stay, 1 of which I'm not sure will, because I'm still debating it. So firstly, I've done...
Right, slow down, because whenever you talk transfer strategy, I've noticed, I've watched these streams back, you go 100 mile an hour. 100 mile an hour is very difficult to keep up, dear. So,
okay, dear.
Talk us through slowly what you're planning to do.
So...
Bit quicker,
right.
maybe.
So the first thing I did yesterday was get rid of the. Who did I get rid of yesterday? I got rid of Martina. I got rid of Elliot.
You got rid of Martina. Now there's a good shout.
And Elliot.
Yeah.
And Mounier.
Okay.
And I replaced them with Pope,
Mustafi
and Aubameyang.
Okay. So talk me through. So you've done a few changes already. That's good. So you've got rid of a bit of dross. Talk me through, and it'd be interesting to see whether you and I and the guys on the live stream are in sync here in terms of players that we are immediately looking at. Because again, the two strategies are, for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, the two strategies are no wildcard. So therefore, I've got to be very selective about how I use my two transfers, and I've got to think about what the community is going to be bringing in as well, because I want to cover the key players that are coming in, versus your strategy, which is I've got a wild card. As far as I'm concerned, my whole 11 can go if I wish, and I can bring in a whole new 11.
Yeah.
So you've hit the wild card. Who are the first three players in your mind that are like, bang, got to have them going forward, got to be on them straight away?
Son,
okay, yeah, okay.
Aubameyang,
I think is a good shout. Yeah.
They were the two key ones for me at the moment, and then obviously I've got to decide about what I'm doing about City. I'm also in a real quandary about Chelsea. And then I wanted to sort out. I wanted an Arsenal defender. Arsenal's fixtures look really nice.
The Arsenal fixtures are very, very good indeed. There's a couple of nice home games. I think then an away game and then another nice home game.
So I wanted
Stoke, Southampton, Newcastle, West Ham. Yeah.
And then obviously they've got United.
So you're thinking about Chelsea. I can see why you're doing that. Spurs, West Ham, Southampton, Huddersfield, Swansea. The only thing I would say to that is I don't necessarily think that Chelsea are firing on all cylinders right now.
I agree.
I'm not sure if I'd be buzzing to get
Which
them.
is why they've been written down with a little question mark on my thinking, because they're going to have doubles.
Yes, they are, yeah.
I know that they're not in the best of forms at the moment, but they're Chelsea and they've got nice fixtures.
Yeah, but who would you have from Chelsea?
Well, this is where I am a bit in a quandary.
Because Hazard looks way too expensive right now.
Correct. And then we've talked a lot lately about Willian and him as a player and how good he's been, but then he's a rotation risk. Do I want that rotation risk? I certainly don't want Morata. So it kind of, I keep coming back to Willian, and then I'm kind of a bit like, oh, it's a rotation risk. Is he going to... Because the point of getting somebody for doubles is he'll play both games in the doubles.
Yeah, correct.
And with Willian, I kind of feel like I'll be getting him and he'll play one.
Yeah. I like Willian as a pick. Out of all the Chelsea assets right now, if I was on a wild card... So right now, I'm not... Go back to my strategy. Who have I absolutely got to get in? Who are the real key 2 or 3 players? None of them are Chelsea right now. None of them are Chelsea. And potentially after the Spurs game, they've got some nice fixtures, nice 4 fixtures, including doubles. Maybe then I look at the Spurs game. Maybe it's Willian. Maybe it's somebody else. Hazard's too expensive. So is Morata for me. So really, it's only
Morata's
really...
to prove himself against the players that are doing well up front.
Are you going to keep Alonso?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've got to keep Alonso. One team that you haven't mentioned is Leicester City. So one of the players I absolutely want is Mahrez. And you guys are all saying it in the live stream. Aubameyang is key. We've got to look at Chelsea. Leicester City deserve our attention. Look at these fixtures. Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Southampton, Palace. There's doubles in there too.
Yeah.
It's a nice blend of 4-man fixtures for Riyad Mahrez.
I agree.
I don't know how well he played today. Okay, I think. I know Vardy got the goal. I think Mahrez was okay. But one of those two, and I'm swaying towards Mahrez, but one of those two looks essential if you're wildcarding, or even if you're not, actually.
No, I think so. So the way I am with my wildcard at the moment is that I'm still very much it's still very much a work in progress. So there's obviously the Rondon spot, which is still...
You're not keeping Rondon?
I can't keep
Devastating, you're shipping him out.
I can't.
You bring him in, he delivers. He delivers.
I know,
and then you're shipping him out like a discarded waste paper.
But right,
Unbelievable.
Okay, so let's be really brutally honest, Rondon. I got Rondon half for the banter of I've got to have Rondon at some point in the season, and this was a good game week for it.
Okay, fair enough. If you're going to have him on one week, this was the week.
I can't justify keeping Rondon in a...
I noticed that who got the assist boys as well. They've got an anti-meta team, which is a team full of random shouts.
Right.
And they captained Neon this game week. If he'd have got an assist, they'd have been loving
Absolutely. So the Rondon place in my team is kind of really interesting at the moment, because I've still got quite a lot of money in the bank. I think you'll notice I've got 5.8 in the bank.
Yeah.
Now, partly, some of that money is because when Kane comes back, I 100% want Kane.
Do you really?
Yes. So as soon as Kane is back, he'll be back in my team. Now, whether he's back for Aubameyang or whether he's back for Firmino, I don't yet know.
Okay.
But that means I'll be keeping 3 million in the bank in order to go Firmino to, if I needed to.
You're keeping that Kane money back
I'm
because you
keeping the
want
money
him back.
because I know I want him, so I
Yeah.
have to think about that into my strategy. So that means that actually that Rondon place, so there's two ways of thinking about it. So I could go Rondon and I'm thinking about Murray at Brighton. He's been on good form lately. Brighton have got some nice fixtures coming up. All right, they've got no doubles. They will have a double, but they won't. They're not the.
You're not jumping on them straight away, right?
No,
I guess. Yeah.
But they've got some nice fixtures coming up. He's cheap. Actually, he saved me 0.1 from Rondon. Rondon's more expensive. Okay. So I could just do that, or I could do Rondon up to Vardy for the next few weeks because Vardy, use the Kane money in that place for now, and then do a couple of transfers a bit later on to take Vardy down and then Kane up from somebody else. Okay. So I'm thinking about all of these things, you see, and so I don't think I want Mahrez and Vardy.
Okay, all right. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. So Jeff is saying Spurs for good fixtures for end of the season, and Kane scored 7 in 2 games last year. Yeah, so you do want to. He likes your strategy about keeping a bit of money back. Who else is on? So Liam Riss, thanks for joining, Liam. He's saying with Murray, do we think 2 games in fewer days is too much at his age? It's a good point, right? That's a valid point. That is a valid point.
That's the sort of thing I say to you.
I listen. We're all thinking, we'll get on Murray for the double, but will he play both games? I think it's a valid point.
Can he not?
What else you guys are saying? Jack Ukiah is here. That's FPL Jack on Twitter. So Jack, thank you for joining. What else we got in here? Let's see what you guys are saying. Andy Nash would need Aubameyang for Gameweek 35 when Spurs blank for the semi-final. Interesting to see what would be the right time to get Kane back in when fit. Yeah,
straight away.
It's potentially.
He wants that golden boot straight away.
Oh, he's not taking that off of Salah now. Salah is far
but he's going to want to give it. He'll want to give it a crack when he gets back, won't he?
Okay. Off the line. Thanks for joining off the line. He said the party is over, Sam, and Rondon, it's over. She's dumped him. So he's come in. You had a party at Rondon. It was fun when it lasted.
We celebrated wisely.
Dumped him.
Well, he's actually not gone yet.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to get rid of him. Who else we got here? Rob Moore is saying Van der Horn. Okay, like that. Van der Horn. Very, very good. Mike is saying Wilson out. I would say so.
I think the time is right to part company with Callum Wilson.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Particularly if you're on a wild card.
Yeah, I think so. Nemanja Tabic, David De Gea. Yeah, never a bad shout. David De Gea. Let's see what Mats is saying here. There's a nice old post by Mats here. Mats, thank you for joining. On a wildcard, you have 2 options. Get in from teams with 2 doubles, Chelsea, Leicester, United, Spurs, and free hit in 35.
That's what I'm doing.
Or get in from double game week 34 and playing game week 35, Arsenal, Burnley, Man City, Swansea, and play free hit 37. Of the 2 strategies, I think we are both aligned in thinking that the first of those is probably more in line with what we're thinking.
I'm in the first camp, definitely. That is my strategy, is to wildcard now, fill up on doubles, free hit in 35 when we've got the funny game week, and then bench boost.
The funny game week.
Yeah, and then triple captain and bench boost in the double game weeks.
Yeah, okay. And for those of you that haven't got the wildcard to play in 32 like me, I was looking before at what sort of teams I want to get off of now. So I've got to be quite selective about who I get in, but I've also got to think about who I get out.
Correct.
And the teams that I want out of right now are predominantly Stoke and Bournemouth. I haven't got any Everton players, but if I did have Everton players, I'd be thinking about getting out of there too, because the fixtures don't look great. Despite their win at the weekend, I don't think the fixtures look great. So for me, I want to move Shaqiri on, I want to move Bauer on, and I want to move Wilson on. So those are probably my 3. And of the teams that I'm looking to get on, Aubameyang I'm looking to get on, or Mkhitaryan.
You've got 2 transfers for this week, is that right?
I've got 2. Yeah, okay. I've got 2. And I'm thinking of a sort of -4, maybe even a -8, let's see, but unlikely.
Wow, okay.
Because the wild card isn't there. So an Arsenal asset I want in on, definitely. Aubameyang or Mickey. Who was I going to mention then? Oh, a Leicester asset, so Mahrez or Vardy. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards Mahrez. So for me, it's going to be Leicester and Arsenal, but which way around do you do it? Do you have Mickey and Vardy, or do you have Aubameyang and Mahrez? At the moment, I'm leaning towards the latter, but that could change, because I think the former's combination is cheaper, but I don't know. We'll think about that in the long term, because Mickey is good value. 7.7, I think, is good value. And also looking at Chelsea potentially to get on as well, with a bit of money in the bank that I've got. So that's my early thoughts, guys, if you like, on how my mini wildcard, I haven't got a wildcard, how my kind of 2 transfers, maybe 3, maybe 4, is going to go over the next 2.5 weeks. By the way, I've made one. So Kane has gone. Kane has gone for Aubameyang.
But that's
so that's what I'm thinking. I looked at, again, and it's not the right time of year really to worry too much about price rises. But Aubameyang was going down, Kane was going down, Aubameyang was going up tonight, I believe. And that's going to repeat itself, I think, probably at least again in the next couple of weeks. Well, so I think that was the right thing to do.
So what I tend to do when I'm playing my wild card at the moment, and it sounds ridiculous, is I tend to take Firmino out and put Kane in, and then play with the rest of them. And then just before I hit go, I take Kane back out, put Firmino back in, because that way it allows me to check what I'm doing with my bank balance. Because I am always aware that I know I want Kane.
Yes.
But I'm also, I think Jeff was talking about Spurs, and I think Spurs is the right way to go. But then if you look at our next fixtures, we've got Chelsea, which is a tough game.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
And then, we play Stoke, but then we've got City. So actually, yes, you'd want Spurs players for 33 for the Stoke game.
Yeah.
But for 32, I'm not sure, the Chelsea game. Now, obviously, 35, I'm getting confused now, but that City game is likely to be in our double game, which is going to be probably City and Newcastle, because Newcastle was the game we missed this week. And then that's real tough, isn't it? Because actually,
it is,
you do want Spurs assets for Newcastle, 100%, but do you want 2 against City? Ooh, I'm not sure.
It's tough, because I'm sitting on Eric, so I've got rid of Kane, as I've just said, but I've got Eriksen and Davis still. Ideally I'd like Son in there, because I think Son now playing false 9. I don't think he's going to go with Llorente up there. I think he's going to go Son. I don't know whether Son's work rate is actually going to benefit the people around him. So one of the things that I actually noticed in the FA Cup game that you've just played against Swansea, Son was doing a hell of a lot of work up there in a Firmino-esque way, actually. And Eriksen therefore had a good game because Son was occupying the defenders, and Eriksen given licence to go forward more. But Lamela had a fantastic game.
Unbelievable.
Had a very, very good game. And Moura as well played well. So there's options now in that Spurs midfield.
There is. And I really rate Lamela this season in a way that I haven't in the past. But since he's come back from injury this time, I rate his work ethic. I rate the way that he's playing.
Okay.
So he is one that you can't get away from Son, I don't think.
Yeah. And James Brady, I think, is saying here, you don't want more than one Spurs player. I
think that's right.
I think that's right.
I think that's right. And that's my head over my heart there. Because my heart would just fill it with Spurs players. But you look at those 3 fixtures, and I'm looking at that City game, sitting there in that double and thinking, I don't want 2 Spurs players in that City game. I certainly don't want a Spurs defender. And part of me wants a Spurs defender because my defence is where my worries are at the moment.
One more question, one more player I want to talk about before we wrap this up. And guys, we will come to you again before game week 32 because a lot's going to happen.
It's 13 days, right? So,
A lot's going to happen. We've got international games.
People get injured.
Players are going to come back injured. There will be people coming back from long haul flights even in that week, and therefore their rotation risks for 32. The Liverpool-Everton game, by the way, I think I'm right in saying this. Is that right? Or Liverpool's next game has been moved to the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. So straight away you've got Salah and Firmino and all these guys. So it was on a Sunday. But it got moved from Sunday because we're playing City on the Tuesday. So what they've done is they moved us from Sunday to Saturday morning. So you've got all these players coming back from long-haul flights on Wednesday, Thursday, training for like a day, and then going into the Merseyside derby, which I think that's the game, the Merseyside derby. I've got to check that. I think that is correct. Where are we?
It's a good job I'm not sitting over there. This would have been a disaster.
Liverpool. Oh no, it's Palace. I might have got my fixtures mixed up here, guys, but I'm pretty sure there is a game where Liverpool have got to play after international break, early doors on a Saturday. It might be that Palace game, actually. And it's 12:30 on a Saturday, which is a nightmare, because all of our players are going to be coming back from long-haul flights, and Palace haven't got as many internationals as us. Maybe my bitterness is coming out again. Been very bitter this evening, haven't I? Very bitter, very bitter. I need to liven up a little bit. So anyway, so that's something to consider. Long story short, lots is going to happen between now and the start of game week 32, which is that Liverpool and Palace game, 12:30 on Saturday. So we will stream again.
We should have some confirmation by then of where these fixtures are going.
So the fixture tickers might look a bit better, might they, in terms of where they're going to be, and we'll know
on doubles.
Yeah, where the doubles are going to be. So So let's stream again. We're going to stream again in the lead up to that Saturday. So I guess probably Tuesday or Wednesday week, something like that. I would guess.
Yeah.
So 2 things I want to discuss. One is that player I just mentioned, and then polls. Must do the polls. The player I mentioned is Lukaku. Neither of us has mentioned Lukaku. But actually, the guys in the stream are saying it. I think they're absolutely right to say it. Looks as if he's picked up a bit of form recently.
Yeah.
In my opinion. What's your view? Bringing him in on your wildcard?
No.
All right, move on to the polls. Go on.
No. To be completely honest, I hadn't even considered him.
So I think in your case, if you're holding the Kane money back because you want Kane, you've got to do one or two things. You either leave it in the bank, or you invest it in Lukaku and you do a straight swap for Kane once Kane comes back. An almost straight swap, I guess. Depends who your 3 are, isn't it? If it's Aubameyang, Firmino...
And either Vardy or Murray, probably.
Vardy or Murray, okay. Because I think the strategy's got to be, do you go for a beast of a midfield and then 2 up front with Murray? Or do you go for a beast front 3 and have like a Miliojovic or a Gross or somebody in the middle?
And I am most comfortable with 2 up top.
Why?
That's how I play the game.
Okay.
I've always played the game that way, and part of this season I played it with 3 up top, and it never feels right to me. I never seem to do as well when I play with 3 up top. I don't know. For me, when I was looking for a replacement for Kane, and as painful as it is for me to say this, Aubameyang was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
For me, over Lukaku. Now that doesn't mean I'm not looking at United assets, because at the moment I have none, and I feel like I need one. I don't know quite whether to go in defensively. I don't really want back in the Jones saga of injury and co. So it probably would be De Gea. Or do I go for a midfielder? But then again, with his constant nagging with Pogba and stuff, who do you go for?
Okay, all right. The one thing that puts me off Lukaku a bit, and Josh Telling, thanks for joining, Josh, absolutely saying he's a United fan. Doesn't like what Mourinho is doing. He's coming out, he's slagging off the players, he's saying some stuff in the press which is not going to, I don't think, motivate the players. I still think there's a piece of me still thinks that Mourinho does all of that to take the pressure off his players, so the press are all over him and not on the players' performance.
You wait
he
for
does
him to
it
start,
year after year.
He start moaning that he got us in the cup and we're playing at home and it's unfair. That'll come up. Can we play at Old Trafford? Yeah.
So for me, Lukaku is probably a bit on the expensive side. But listen, there's plenty of wildcards out there, and he is an all right option.
I think the interesting thing about wildcards at the moment is that there will be a lot of differences in the teams that we haven't seen of late.
Sure.
So there'll be real differences between players like you who don't have the wild card and are making a few changes here and there, to players like me who have got a wild card. But then there'll also be massive differences within those wild cards, because like you say, you've got a straight choice almost between Aubameyang and Lukaku. The same with your midfielders. There's loads of choice out there at the moment.
Absolutely.
Particularly coming into those doubles. So it should make for an interesting end to the season, which we haven't had lately, because it's always just been the same.
I think there's plenty of points to play for.
Absolutely.
Of points to play for, and I think it's really going to mix things up over the next few weeks. Whether I can catch up 100 points on you or not remains to be seen. I don't think so, guys. And remains to be seen whether Jamal can be caught in any of the leagues that he's in.
I don't think Jamal can ever be caught.
Ever. But before we go, guys, let's just have a look at the polls. And I'm going to try and do this on here. Let's have a look. So who's the best FPL player ever? So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. If you've not joined in the poll, go to the... What is it? I'll do Spencer's thing.
Night fever. Oh, no, bet not, because we'll get done. We'll get told off.
You can't sing. Yeah, you can't sing. You'll be having ads all over the shop on
we'll be told off.
So up in the top, up here, somewhere right-hand corner, the little I button, find that. Have a look at the 2 polls. I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. I'm going to ask you, who's the best FPL player ever? Obviously without Aguero, because I didn't put Aguero in.
I want Aguero.
I can't have Aguero. Ronaldo, Bale, Suarez, Salah, Henry. You are so predictable.
Get them to guess who I picked.
Right, guys. Out of those, Ronaldo, Bale, Suarez, Salah, Henry. Who do you think Sam picked? I'll give you a clue. It's not the Arsenal legend. I'll give you a clue. Go on then. Are you playing your wildcard in 32? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, guys, who is the best FPL player ever? 55% going with Salah. Wow.
Yeah, but that's because Aguero's not in there.
Maybe. Tell the guys who you went for. Gareth Bale. Obviously. So predictable.
I think he's going to come back to Spurs,
God, do me a favour. He's going to come back to Spurs. So Bale 10%, Henry 7%, We must have quite a young community, maybe a young in-law community on here, because
Either
Henri
that,
was
was
amazing.
Or you've just got a load of Liverpool fans.
Maybe there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Because most of the points have gone Liverpool here. Look.
That's true. Suarez was different class, though, wasn't he? Suarez was different class, and Salah, on the basis of this season, amazing. The question is, who's the best FPL player ever? And for me, you've got to do that over a few seasons. For me, Cristiano Ronaldo.
And I wonder whether actually there is a few. You look at Salah at the moment, and you do think, God, he is different class.
Yeah.
So actually, do you forget? Well, is he going to go to Real Madrid?
You pipe down. Don't give me that. You go with Pochettino. Right. So for me, it's Ronaldo, but for you guys, 55% Salah. Loving that. And are you playing your wildcard in 32? 58% of you are playing your wildcard in 32.
That's actually a smaller number than I thought it would be.
Do you think? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think a few people have played it before, like me, haven't got it, or I don't think many people are saving it. I think if you've got it, you probably play it in 32. There is absolutely a case for
particularly because you've got a longer period of time as well with the internationals and stuff. So yeah,
there's definitely a case for holding it, but 58% playing their wildcard in 32. Interesting. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us as usual. For those of you that haven't hit the like button already, please go and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well if you've not already. Find us at FPLFamily on Twitter and at FPLFamily on Instagram. We're going to be here again, I guess, a few days before that Saturday when Liverpool play Palace. I'm trying to think what the date of that is. It's got to be like right at the end of May, right? 31st, maybe?
No, that's Easter weekend.
Yeah.
It is.
Saturday, and it is Palace. Yeah, Saturday the 31st of March and then the 1st of April. Chelsea Spurs on April Fool's Day.
Well, it's also on Easter Sunday.
That's Easter Sunday, is it? The 1st of April?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So that's it'll be a few days before that we come to you guys, probably like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. You guys that tune in regularly will know that.
Where's March going?
It's bonkers, isn't it? It's bonkers.
Talking about April already.
I know, but that's the gap we've got now. We've got the international break. We've got pointless fixtures where players are just trying not to get injured,
Why have we got an international break now? It's ridiculous.
Well, it is what it is.
I know we've got a World Cup. I understand that. But I mean, I normally love an international break, but now we're just getting into the crux of FPL.
Yeah.
It's like
everyone's just got the Salah haul. Everyone's wild carding, and then
you wait for somebody major to get injured in this international break.
That's going to mix it up.
Tell you what, that will put the cat well.
If one of these, one of these big players that I bring in. So I've already bought Aubameyang in. I don't know. I'm not even sure who he plays for international.
It's not a problem for me because I'll just wildcard him back out again.
That is the problem. So listen, lots is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We will see you on the Tuesday or Wednesday. Follow us at FPLFamily on Twitter. I will let you know when that is for our next live stream. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Well done this week, guys. Some amazing scores. Amazing.
Well
Everybody
done,
in the sort of 80s and 90s. But some fantastic scores. And well done, especially to Jeff. For triple captain Salah.
And somebody else
and I think it was Josh as well. Congratulations, Josh, as well for triple captain Salah. So until next time, guys, thank you for joining, and we will see you next time. Cheers.
Take care, guys. Have a good couple of weeks.